What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Halving Report podcast. I am your host, Brad Mines. The price of Bitcoin is $65.5 thousand US dollars, and we're still about 3.5 years left until the next Bitcoin halving. Today, we're welcoming Cole from CoinOS to the show. Last week we had the founder of CoinOS, and now we're having Cole, who's also a member of the team. So we're gonna welcome Cole here today. How you feeling today, Cole? And how you feeling about Bitcoin today?
I'm feeling really good, really positive, very bullish. Bitcoin's reaching high levels. Even when it's not reaching high levels, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin. I was one of those people back when Bitcoin was 15K in 2022. I was bullish. I was that guy telling everyone, buy Bitcoin, not financial advice. Buy Bitcoin, not financial advice. I was the only person, it felt like, in many different situations, telling people about it when it was at all-time low prices.
Sorry, when was this? At what prices are you talking about?
2022. In 2022, I was still really bullish when Bitcoin had all-time low prices, even in 2022. Right. So I'm bullish today.
Yeah.
And I'm bullish in 2022. Was bullish in 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, you start to appreciate those down days and the bear markets where you can stack more sats, get more value for your buck. And yeah, I was actually just looking at a picture I posted on Instagram the other day, and I think it was December 2022, Christmas Day 2022. Price was like 16,000 US dollars or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, that was 2022. And I'm just thinking, like, look how far we've come from then, right? If it was a great time to get in when fear is ultimately high like that. But yeah, maybe you could just give us a quick introduction for yourself, Cole, for my listeners that may not be familiar with yourself and CoinOS. I did post the video last week with Adam. However, you play a different role with the team, so maybe just let us know how you partake in with CoinOS and the Bitcoin community.
Absolutely, Brad. Yeah, thanks again for having me on. Shout out to all of the viewers of the show. I'm looking very forward to coming to Ontario, coming to Toronto, actually, in a couple weeks. So I'll be able to connect with a lot of people, with you, Brad, and some of your listeners, hopefully. And so I'm based in Vancouver, BC, Canada. I work alongside Adam, who's the founder of CoinOS. He founded CoinOS back in 2012. And I started with CoinOS around 2022, and I started onboarding businesses in 2022 in the summertime, even during the bear market. Now, today, CoinOS, I've helped grow CoinOS to having hundreds of businesses worldwide. As of right now, we have just over 550 businesses worldwide accepting Bitcoin as a payment option for their goods and services. So one of our focuses, or our main focus with CoinOS, is to set up businesses with accepting Bitcoin, Lightning, and Liquid as a payment option. Our main focus is Lightning, but there is a lot of people, there's a handful of people in the Vancouver community who do like using Liquid as well. And some merchants, physical merchants, like merchants with physical locations, brick and mortar locations we call those, they also take on-chain Bitcoin. Some customers, some people in the Bitcoin community pay with on-chain Bitcoin as well. And I really like that. Of course, our focus is Lightning because instant transactions, less than 1 second, as you know, Brad, almost no fees. But I like seeing on-chain Bitcoin still being used as a transaction vehicle. I really like that because it's like the old school, like hardcore, like real Bitcoin kind of thing, right? To this day, we have a merchant that has the record for the most Bitcoin sales in one day without having a special event happening. And that was on-chain Bitcoin transactions, not even Lightning. Obviously, 95% or more of all of our merchant transactions are Lightning, okay? But it is cool that one of the merchants that has the most money paid to them in Bitcoin in one day was with on-chain Bitcoin. So those customers pay the on-chain transaction fees because the things they were purchasing were large amount, like the things they were purchasing were expensive in dollars. So that's why it was worth it for them to pay in on-chain. Now, I host meetups in Vancouver, events and meetups. about 8 per month right now, sometimes 9, but on average it's more about 8 per month. That started last week, Mondays and Thursdays. We've been having a consistent turnout of people. We have new faces on a weekly basis. And at these meetups, we educate people about the value of spending Bitcoin, Lightning, at merchants compared to spending fiat. We educate people about how helpful it is for you to live on a Bitcoin standard. Living on a Bitcoin standard, to those who might not know what that means, it just means being able to live off your Bitcoin and not need to rely on your bank account or rely on your dollars as much, right? So at these meetups, we teach people about that and just educate people about the value of Bitcoin, the value of Lightning, why it's one of the biggest solutions to the world's problem that we have today. Right? Not though, to a big world problem that we have today. Okay? And we have maps online as well. Like we talk to, if you look at our map with all the Bitcoin merchants that are using us, it's coinos.io/map. There is also btcmap.org. When you go to those map websites, you'll see there is a lot of Bitcoin businesses, a lot of merchants dealing with Bitcoin in other countries, other cities in very different countries. And that's because one of the reasons for that is because me and Adam have been consistently posting on our social media pages and attracting a lot of attention from leaders in other communities in other countries. And when we talk to that's one of our focuses, is talking to leaders of other communities in other countries. And that's how we've gotten hundreds of businesses in Brazil. Like Brazil is the most Bitcoinized community. Well, the city Relante in the state Rio Grande do Sul in Brazil. They are the most Bitcoinized city that I know of. I would say in the world, I think, right now. In the whole western part of the world, like out of North America and South America, Relante in Brazil is number one with being the most Bitcoinized. I can say that. Vancouver, BC, Canada is the most Bitcoinized city in North America. And you can look this up on btcmap.org or coinos.io/map. So per capita, Vancouver has the most Bitcoin merchants in the city. And that's because I'm out there really just onboarding a lot of merchants, and not just me, but the community in the Vancouver Bitcoin community are out there spending their Bitcoin at these merchants, keeping these merchants alive. Well, keeping them like fresh and active with the Bitcoin payments and Bitcoin volume. Because when we have merchants and they accept Bitcoin, that's awesome. But if they don't have anyone going there to spend their Bitcoin, then they're gonna maybe lose interest in it, maybe. To this day, we have never had the owner of a business discontinue their Bitcoin payments after getting signed up with us. The only time that Bitcoin payments have discontinued at merchants that I signed up has been when the ownership has changed, which we can't really control. That's happened a bunch of times. The ownership will change, the business gets sold, that kind of stuff. So how do we maintain Bitcoin spending volume in our Bitcoinized economy? It's having the meetups, educating people in a group setting. Sometimes we have over 100 people attend our events. We had 300 RSVPs at our Bitcoin block party. It's not my event, but the Bitcoin block party is hosted by a different organizer who we as CoinOS are partnered with, and we sponsor every one of his events. It's called BTC Van City. He's the organizer. So the Bitcoin block party had 300 RSVPs last year. That was a great success, and those are really good platforms, really good stages to show people the Bitcoinization that's happening, educating them about why it's important to spend, or why it's helpful for you to spend Bitcoin. And how I get people to come to my events that I host myself is I tell these other business owners that, hey, you can benefit if you come to my event, because then you can announce to everyone about your business and spread the word there. So I always tell people what's in it for them, because that's what everyone cares about. What's in it for me? That's what everyone thinks about, whether they know it subconsciously, consciously. That's what everybody thinks about. What's in it for me? I mean, it's not like black and white like that. Like there is some selflessness involved in this, everything we're talking about. Like, people do care about other people doing well. That's good. But at the root core of it, as people, we do care at the end of the day what's in it for us, what's in it for me. So I focus on that when I try to onboard merchants and when I'm trying to get people to come to my events and build a community that way. What I really like about what you guys are doing in Ontario, Brad, is that you guys have multiple leaders in multiple different communities in Ontario, not just in Toronto, but you have some in Guelph and in Niagara, right? You guys are spread out and you're having meetups on a regular basis. And that's a great way to build a Bitcoinized economy. Like, that's one of the best things you can do to do that. So I know that you guys are doing all the right steps to be very Bitcoinized.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that, Cole. And yeah, we just had our first Welland meetup the other day, which is, right in the center of Niagara region. It's usually done in the fall. So we had over, I think, 20, 25 people there, which was, I was more than happy with that. Welland's a very small city. So, but yeah, it's really cool to hear how many actual meetups you guys are having out there. And this is something Sean, the Niagara BTC organizer, had said to me. He's like, ideally, he's like, we're gonna have one in the fall, we're gonna have one in Welland, and we'll do multiple. We'll be at both spots. And I'm like, oh wow, like more than one meetup a month in Niagara. I'm like, should that be a thing? I'm like, I don't know, but I guess the more we can get together and the more nice, because we had a great time, and like people were there from early. Like, we were supposed to start at 7. We had people come before 7, like 6:30, 6:15, and they were there till usually we're there till like 9 or 10, and people were there right till like 11 or 12 this time. So we're really trying to ramp that up. We onboarded. We did. John did really great, actually, demonstrating CoinOS and getting the server there to take tips in Bitcoin Lightning, which is really cool. They threw that up on Twitter, and I think some other randoms kind of just sent her like some Satoshis here to go, because she's not fully convinced yet, into real estate and, other things, and skeptical, maybe for all the right reasons, right? But we're really trying to grow that here. And yeah, I got to connect with you guys when I come out there, because it sounds like you guys got a lot going on out there. So my question is, when you guys are measuring Bitcoin adoption through all these merchants that you're talking about, are you talking about all Bitcoin payment rails, or are you just talking about with CoinOS, and who, like you're saying, like Vancouver's the most Bitcoinized city in North America? Are you guys just counting CoinOS, or are you guys looking at the full picture of whatever they're using?
Right, that's a good question. So when you go to coinos.io/map, so when you go to our homepage, it's just a little on the top right corner. You just click that drop-down menu, and then you click map. All of those merchants are using CoinOS. And then when you go to btcmap.org, that's where btcmap.org lets any business get posted there, regardless of the wallet they're using. It's Bitcoin only, of course, but it's any Bitcoin wallet could be used when posted on btcmap.org. Now, I've come across multiple merchants that are using CoinOS to accept Bitcoin payments, and they didn't even tell us, because they probably just didn't think they needed to tell us. So I've sent out multiple tweets saying, hey guys, if you're using us to accept Bitcoin payments, let us know so I can tweet the heck out of you, right? You know what I mean? So there is more merchants other than the CoinOS map that are using CoinOS to accept Bitcoin payments, right? So CoinOS has the majority of the businesses in Vancouver that are accepting Bitcoin payments are via CoinOS, if that answers your question. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really cool to hear. And I'm not sure if we've gotten Riverbank Tavern on CoinOS map. We have to do that ourselves, right? We got to go in there and put the business in, our new business here that we just had the meetup on that map. What excites you the most about working in the Bitcoin space, and especially with a project like CoinOS?
Yeah, what excites me the most is the fact that we're promoting a new technology here, right? Bitcoin's been around since 2009. And been online since January 2009, and it's a new technology, and it's trending a lot. And as the years go on, it's gaining more and more and more adoption. So it's so exciting to be a part of such a new technology that is such a big solution to one of the biggest problems this world has, which is starts with an I, inflation, right? So when all the money printing that's happening and the mismanagement with the Federal Reserve and stuff, I'm sure they have all these professionals in these high positions, these executive positions in the Federal Reserve. I'm sure some of them probably do have good intentions. A lot of them are corrupt, but I don't think that 100% of them are corrupt. But I think a lot of them are very closed-minded. Even the ones with good intentions, they're closed-minded. They look at Bitcoin as a scam. But what I am noticing is that a lot of them are starting to come around more. Like executives that 3-4 years ago would say Bitcoin's a scam, now they're saying it could be a help. It could be a big help to society. I'm noticing that more and more. A lot of like very well-known businessmen, traditional finance people are starting to come around. So what excites me the most is seeing the adoption curve grow, seeing people who used to be skeptics turn into believers, right? And knowing that we as CoinOS, as a community, as in Canada, knowing that all these different leaders in these different communities in Canada are building other Bitcoinized communities and Bitcoinized cities, that's motivating to me, that Canada is really stepping it up. Like Canada is taking it very seriously. All across Canada, from BC to Ontario, a little bit beyond Ontario, but not much, right? But from BC to Ontario, like you and me, Brad, we're all taking things seriously. Shout out to Sean, Niagara. Like, I don't want to give a shout out to too many specific people because I know that I'm going to forget certain people to give a shout out to. So I don't want to remember everyone on the list, right? So I almost didn't give a shout out to Sean and Gay, BTC advisors as well, right? But when you're in a different country that won't allow your app to be used because it detects your IP address, I've heard of some people even trying to use their VPN on their phone, and that still didn't work. So the solution is use CoinOS. Go to your web browser, Chrome or whatever you want, coinos.io. You're on a web page, not the App Store. And then you sign into your CoinOS account on the web page. So we are a web app. And CoinOS is completely open source. You can find our GitHub on the GitHub, and you can use our code in any way that you want. We are actually open source. Other people have been using our code before. And Francis, who's the CEO of Bull Bitcoin, he actually was using his own instance of CoinOS back in 2014, 2015. He has his GitHub posted there.
Wow.
So you can use CoinOS open source. We have a Shopify plugin. You can use CoinOS on your online store as well. And the Shopify plugin works very easily. I've used it many times at various online merchants. Lightning, when you're on the shopping cart screen, you press continue to checkout, you select Bitcoin, select Lightning, and then the Lightning QR code pops up. You scan that with your Lightning wallet, big green check mark. It's super easy. And we have a merchandise store, coinosmerch.com. That's all on our link tree. Our Linktree link is at the bottom of our homepage I mentioned. And follow us on Twitter. And one of the biggest things actually is connect with us on Telegram. And when you go to a Bitcoin merchant, take a picture of what you bought, post that in the Telegram chat and say, hey everyone, I was just at this store and I spent Bitcoin on this. Thanks CoinOS, or just say using my CoinOS wallet, something like that. Because Telegram has very organic and high quality engagement, in my opinion.
Cool, man. Yeah, we'll definitely make sure to put the word about that. And, we want to get, our CoinOS new users around here up there and be able to keep spreading that adoption, man. I think you guys are doing great work over there, man. You're very good and eloquent. And thanks so much for doing this.
Sounds good, Brad.